Excuse me. Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review episode 250. Yes, my very first. Out of all anime review series, this is the first one to reach this number 250. Wow. That is quite cool, to say the least. Oh, yes, definitely. And of course, not like that, reviewing the 250th episode of the anime, Blood of the Funto. And I'm also discussing the newest chapter of the manga, chapter 70. Yep. This episode takes place concurrently with events of the last episode. Mostly, anyways. It's almost like basically that this episode is just basically what the Foots were up to for the last couple episodes. That's mainly what this one is. I mean, you start off with seeing Ika, where he's tending for his sister, and of course, you have Arumi, where she's like he's tending for his sister, and then of course Karuba, the same kid we saw in the last episode, him basically pulling him out, and of course asking one of the guards to keep on his sister because basically she's a very high important official, so why not keep an eye on her? And of course, showing off the fact that his poison dart technique basically is improved. And then it finally comes in to his Julia clan. They do explain exactly. Now, this episode does explain where his mother is. Trapped in ice and presumably dead. She could be still alive, though they don't do anything much about it. I mean, it's an ice jutsu. Ice jutsu lets you stab somebody with it. It doesn't necessarily mean they're dead. They're frozen, yes. But, of course, Arumi, the guy who was in charge of the clan, he claims his wife is dead. Even though she could clearly be alive, despite the fact it's been like over 10 years. And yeah, he just pointed out that she's still as beautiful as she was. Sometimes basically being frozen like that does usually mean that, well, they usually say exactly where they are. And I gotta admit, his wife was drop dead gorgeous. So, he of course, he gets called a coward. And then he sees some shipbuilding going on. Of course, he just happily volunteers to help out because he trained as a shipbuilder. This lasts for a while, and then of course, basically, Rumi is wondering where the heck is Furumi, the guy who we just saw die in the last episode. He's actually informed by his death. And then, of course, Grimmon comes in. Of course, he plans to avenge his father's death. And we see him actually get the little markings he got there. We see him get that we see how I have on him in the last episode. Basically, it's kind of an explanation for that. In the case of Ika, he basically is first sulking. It's of course after his father hits him for basically saying he doesn't remember his mother, which that is the truth. He has no idea what his mother even looks like. And like he doesn't remember his mother. Because she was turned eyes when he was a baby. So of course he doesn't know what his mother looks like. At all. And of course they keep claiming he's the future of the clan. And of course he's informed about his sister, Sairi, who's actually woken up finally. Who's been in a coma for the last several episodes. She finally wakes up. But she basically gets up a bit too early and reopens up her wounds. And then of course he has to lie to her because she's dying. And she dies in his arms. And he just tears up a shipbuilding plant that he had. Jumps in the water and gets his gills that he basically hasn't had the whole time he's appeared on screen since episode 240. So, after 10 episodes of this character's debut, he finally gets his gills. That he probably was supposed to have some time ago, maybe. Yep. And of course, his elder brother is actually plotting to get this. He wants to basically form a peace treaty with, of all people, the Hidden Mist. Yep. Because, well, oh, by the way, I think it was like 10 episodes, was it? No, it was actually 12, at least 11 episodes after his debut. Yep. Yeah, so it was like 11 episodes after this character's debut, he finally seemed to get his gills. Which I'm thinking, that's interesting. But yeah, it's a good episode, and here's the thing. Does Boruto appear in this episode? Yes, he does. He appears briefly at the start of it, and then you see him briefly for like 10 seconds appear in the closing credits, and that's it. So yeah, basically he kind of blames himself for basically this whole war in the first place. It's a good episode. I like it. And it's one of those rarities where we have a whole episode focused on the bad guys, which they don't really do. They maybe spend like half an episode on it, but not from start to finish. This is by far the first one I could think of that ever did this. I mean, aside from Boruto, like nobody else in the main cast up in this episode. Yep. Well, aside from, flashbacks. Well, basically the recap. Alright, moving on to news chapter manga. Chapter 70. From the Bottom of My Heart, which has Armando on the cover. Yep. Excuse me, pick up where we left it last time. Where Shikamaru offered Ida to come over to the Hidden Leaf. And she thinks about it. Is like, wait, what are you doing? Me, Shushka, I have every right to consider this. Yeah, so she can see Kamaki. And you have Naruto running over, of course, hacking the system. Like, damn. Like, door open. Sorry, Naruto. It should protect you guys from the enemy jutsu, so you can get there with me. Shikamaru, okay? What's going on? I don't have time to explain right now. It's a good situation. Please don't interfere. Don't destroy the expensive lock system. And first we're in here. The village's budget is already shrinking every year as it is. Wow. Like, what's the reason for that? And then Sasuke and Boruto show up. Yep. Now, I get the fact Boruto has a ninja hand. I get the fact that Sasuke allows him to wear it. He has his own. If people see him wear that, people think he's a rogue ninja. Put it on your own ninja head, but if you want to keep that, fine. Put it in your pocket. Don't wear your forehead like it's a badge of honor. And by the way, that scar, or that little scrape across the ninja headband, Naruto did that himself at the end of part 1 of the original manga and at the end of the canon stuff in the original Naruto anime. That's when he did it. Yeah, Naruto's the one who did that. Yes. Oh, Hokage, there was a here. And of course they chat for a little while, like, yeah, chat for like a couple pages. And then of course, apparently Delta has fallen for Ida. Yes, Delta, the beautiful android, has fallen. And then we finally cut to Kamaki. 9 pages in, we finally see him. Him with Sasumori, who by the way was a character in her debut in the anime, and then they later added her in the manga, like not long after she first showed up in the anime. Yeah, I think her first appearance in the manga was like chapter 17. And this is cut off for her from her debut in the manga. Like, in the manga, it was very heavily implied that she has a thing for Boruto. And in the anime, they removed that for some reason. I do not know why. Like, I'll go down. Of course, she talks about basically what happened with Boruto. Like, I'm sure it makes painful decisions for both of you. And he looks at his hand. Armando, he's already restored without my permission. Karma. I think when he repaired your right arm, he must have extremely willing to procure. Yet, its return. It's something I strongly desire too. If I hadn't, Lord said me dead right now. The first time I was grateful to have it from the bottom of my heart, and I realized that I needed it. Kamaki, you're thinking that it had played into his hands? What? Sorry, it's not like I have a proof or anything. It could be irrational grounded fear on my part, but I feel like the reason Mr. Armando was so hung up on your karma is for our purposes. Yeah, and then of course Armando is basically being poked by code. Give me the unlimited restore power. Sigmar can't take it anymore. Yeah, and of course, and because Kamaki is nearby, like, okay, yeah, because she detects Kamaki nearby. I was like, oh no, Ko, we need to shoot right now. Huh? What's wrong? Kamaki's coming. He'll be here soon. Huh? All the doors to the room is sealed. Kamaki's got the playing shrink himself into the air vent. So apparently he's got a shrinking jutsu. Okay, so apparently he thinks he's Ant-Man. Yeah, because the thing is, The guy he gets his Akamura data from is a guy who can shrink himself. Yeah, okay, fine. They'll go. Of course, they basically open up Code opens up his claws, and of course, Kamaki is like almost there. It'll be a headache. Eno pops up here. Yep, Eno. And then, of course, Armando is basically shoved right through the claw mark. Yeah, he shoved through a claw mark because it's code. What do you expect? He's pulled right through. Of course, everyone's wondering, like, what the heck is going on here? And then, of course, Shikamaru does the child paralysis juice. It doesn't work. That stops him briefly. And, of course, what's wrong? Me with Kawaki. Why are you so bashful? Delta, dear? What is it, Elda, dear? I see them buying. Could you help me? What? And then Delta proceeds to kick Shikamaru. Damn, what are you doing, Delta? Get a grip. But Elda said, I'm sorry, Shika dear. We'll be party ways here, but thank you so much for your enticing offer. Let's meet again. Thank you too, Delta dear. I love you. I love you too, Elda. Please come and like, what? Okay. What? Did she just make a female android fall for her? Okay. That's bad it looks. I really like provoking animosity, but Shikamaru, Nika, and there. I've decided to add your name to my retribution list. Prepare yourself. Get lost already and never show your mug here again. And he slips away. Kamaki finally comes in the room. Code's claw marks. He was here? Kamaki apologizes. Could you obliterate them with your Shinkahania? So they come back in? No, I need to ask him on something. Where is he? Who knows? Might be dead already. What? And of course, now he finds out he's basically at Code's new base. And he finds that Elda's brother is awake. Of course, Bug's there too. Doesn't say anything about it. He asks him to release his limiters. Okay, but spare my life. Fine. And takes him a bit. Then he does so. And he basically kind of becomes like this. I'm like, okay. Has the white karma on him. Nice. Feel like I can't lose anyone. Forget Mondo. Your wounds hurt, doesn't it? I feel good, so let me free you this instant. From your suffering. Implying he's gonna kill him next chapter. Yep. I gotta say, damn good chapter. Can't wait for the next chapter, which comes out in 29 days. Yeah, I have to wait about a month for the next chapter. Yep. Well, yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned a little bit later for my first, probably 3 reviews for Yashi and Princess Half Team. I have to catch up with you with the series, so I'm going to do that later, okay? Next video. Bye.